A high-profile Danville murder suspect goes to court after his mental competency came into question.
An early morning explosion and fire in Scott County destroyed the home of a man currently in jail for making meth.
Well, looks like we get into the afternoon, we'll have the heat, we'll have the humidity, and also that chance at a few rumbles of thunder, and that goes for the next few days. But I do have good news in the forecast. I'll show you that coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon. It's turning into a very busy day at WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. We begin this midday with breaking news. I-64 in Franklin County is shut down right now.
A crash involving a church bus sent several people to the hospital. This is all happening at the 58-mile marker in the eastbound lanes. We are going live now to WKYT's Mark Barber with the breaking developments. Mark?
Good afternoon, Bill and Barbara. We are here at the City Christian Church off of exit 58, or rather 58 in Frankfort, and this is where crews have brought all the people who were not injured in that church bus crash. A total of 14 people, 12 of them teenagers, were all injured in that crash. We were told that those 14 people were all taken to area hospitals. 2 were taken to UK Hospital. The other 12 were all taken to Frankfort Regional Medical Center. Now we're told, thankfully, that none of these people have life-threatening injuries. We're told that they were mainly scraped up, cut and bruised in this crash. A total of 34 teenagers were on this church bus, and again 12 of those teenagers from that bus were taken to the hospital. The group very shaken up, as you can imagine. Now we're told that this crash happened, and it was actually the second crash here on I-64 near mile 58 today. They say that it happened because the first truck ran into a vehicle over by the 64-mile marker and started backing up traffic back to the 58-mile marker. Now we're told that that's where the church bus ran into an SUV. We're told that the driver of that SUV had a toddler in the vehicle. We're told, though, that amazingly, other than the mother's broken arm, that child was not injured. However, we're told that there were several animals inside that vehicle. We're told they are still trying to find one dog. Now, we've learned that this church group was heading to a teen conference in Gatlinburg and that they were out of Fishers, Indiana. That's just north of Indianapolis, and they were from Hamilton Hills Church. Now, we're told that they are waiting here at this City Christian Church, again off of exit 58 in Frankfort, until the members in their group, those 12 people, are released from the hospital, and their plans are to go back north of Indianapolis at this time. They say that right now they've got to cancel this trip down to Gatlinburg. However, they say that the bright spot in all of this is the hospitality of people here in central Kentucky. They say that not only do they have a place to stay here while they're waiting for their group to get released, they say they also have food, drinks. They're being provided with pizza from this church family. So they say that there is a bit of good news for them on this difficult day. Live here in Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. We're also tracking a breaking story out of Lincoln County right now. A woman was seriously injured in a dog attack. The sheriff says it happened this morning on Julian Lane north of Stanford near the Boyle County line. The Advocate Messenger reports the woman was airlifted to a hospital. The sheriff says the woman was attacked by a pack of 7 dogs. Deputies are still in the area trying to locate 2 of the dogs involved in the attack. We'll have more on the breaking story coming up on WKYT News at 12:30.
A full report on that shortly.
A judge has ruled that a man charged in a triple murder at a Kentucky pawn shop is competent to stand trial.
A judge handed down that ruling this morning in a Boyle County courtroom. Our Phil Pendleton is there and joining us now with those developments. Phil?
We cannot tell you what exactly happened inside the Boyle Circuit courtroom because we were not allowed in. I also cannot say what the reason was behind the need for the mental competency hearing because we're told that was confidential. But the prosecutor said the end result of the hearing that lasted less than 30 minutes is that everyone is now ready to move forward with the trial. It has now been almost 2 years since pawn shop owners Michael and Angela Hockensmith and gold broker Daniel Smith were killed inside their Danville ABC Gold Games and More pawn shop. Police say Keith shot and killed the 3. Recently, his mental competency came into question, but the prosecutor says all of that has now been resolved.
We did have that hearing, and although I can't get into the details of the hearing, there is an order forthcoming which will order that Mr. Keith is competent, and we have a status hearing scheduled for September the 1st to proceed further with the case.
And this case has had numerous delays. Kenneth Keith's first attorney, Mark Stanziano, was shot and killed. Now He has another attorney through the Department of Public Advocacy. We're told that the trial will now move forward, but we still don't know when exactly that trial will start. In Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
A case that really shook up Danville, and by the way, the prosecutor says this is still a death penalty case.
A home burned to the ground overnight, and now investigators are trying to figure out what sparked the flames. It was just after 1 this morning when firefighters in Scott County were called to the home on Indian Creek Road in Sadieville. Neighbors reported hearing an explosion. As WKYT's Hillary Thornton reports, the man who owns the home wasn't there because he's in jail.
What you see behind me is all that is left of that Indian Creek home, and while investigators try to figure out what exactly happened, neighbors say this location has been a source of problems before.
That's what it's known as around here. Everybody knows it is the meth lab house.
Neighbors tell us the owner of the burned down home, William Dillon, is currently in jail for making meth. Around 1 o'clock this morning, firefighters were called to Dillon's home after neighbors heard an explosion. When fire crews got to the scene, they say the home had already burned down to the ground. Back on July 6, Dillon admitted guilt in helping an organized crime conspiracy to make and distribute meth. His plea agreement gets him out of testifying against his co-defendants. In exchange, prosecutors are recommending a 10-year sentence on the meth charge and 5 years on that facilitation charge. The plea agreement also calls for Dillon to forfeit his Indian Creek Road property, which is the home that burned down this morning. Neighbors say since Dillon's arrest, no one was supposed to be in the home because it was deemed unlivable. However, they say that did not stop a group of people from spending time there.
Show up, and I've actually called the law on several of people that showed up around there. They've been playing loud music and shooting off guns, and I've called the law several times on them.
And Dillon is scheduled to be back in court for his sentencing next week. In Scott County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Hillary, thank you. And a spokesman for the Scott County Fire Department says the fire is still under investigation. The case has been turned over now to state police.
Well, after a dry weekend with a lot of sunshine, the work week is off to a little bit of a wet start here and there. It looks as if those rain chances will stick around here and there for a lot of the work week, but we'll see some sunshine as well. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is tracking everything in our First Alert Weather Center.
Yeah, it all depends on where you are. And honestly, there is not one location across the map that says this is the best chance of rain. It's not a great chance of rain today. We had a couple of showers early on, and now we have a couple of showers right now. Let's go into the heaviest rain at this very moment, rolling through Lawrenceburg, downtown Lawrenceburg, and go north toward Frankfort. That's where we're seeing some of that rain. It's just a little shower that's rolling through, and I say little shower, still putting down heavy rain. Versailles, you'll be next, and that goes for Midway too. As you look down toward downtown Midway. Now, all that sliding toward Nicholasville. Nicholasville, you're going to get another shot at it. Lexington, we are as well here in the next 30-45 minutes. Now, as we go through time, we'll see these temperatures continue to rise. Let me show you something, what the rain does. 73 degrees in Moorhead, 86 Lexington, 85 Frankfort. Look at Monticello, almost 90 degrees at this very moment. So it's really steamy where you're not really seeing the rain. Where you are, it kind of cools you off just a bit, but it's very hit and miss. We'll be right around 89 as we approach the afternoon. If you do not see rain today, you'll actually be 90, 91 degrees. So it's going to be steamy, and the focus of the forecast, well, obviously the storms back in your forecast. And I'll show you how long we hold on to those coming up.
Micah, thank you. Authorities in Wisconsin say they tracked a cell phone to locate a plane crash that claimed the lives of 2 Kentucky men. They began searching for the small plane when it never showed up at the Experimental Aircraft Association convention. The plane and the bodies of 2 men were found hours later in a field in Kenosha County yesterday. The sheriff there says the victims are believed to be from Indiana or Kentucky. The plane was registered to someone in Louisville.
State investigators are expected to be at a Southern Kentucky amusement park today looking into an accident that left several people with injuries. A swing ride fell over at Beach Bend Park in Bowling Green over the weekend. 12 people were hurt in all, including several children. Everyone hurt was treated and released from a local hospital. Beach Bend is still open and operating on a normal schedule today.
Well, affordable housing can often be hard to come by for veterans, but a new initiative is hoping to help with that problem.
And as our Rebecca Smith reports, because of those efforts, one military veteran will be getting a new place to live. Rebecca?
What right now is just a plot of land with some dirt on it will soon be a lovely home for a military veteran. The Home Builders Association of Lexington, along with their foundation Home Builders Care, broke ground today on a new home for a U.S. military veteran. Local dignitaries, including Lexington Mayor Jim Gray, were there to support the initiative, which seeks to provide an affordable home for a veteran.
This is something that our foundation has kind of taken on, not only for military families, but other families in our community in need. This project happens to be focused on a veteran. When we formed in 2011, one of the things that we wanted to do was give back to the military, and we've done that in spades, we think.
And we understand they are taking other applicants for these types of housing situations. If you feel like you could be eligible, go to our website, WKYT.com, and click on the story. In Lexington, Rebecca Smith, WKYT.
Rebecca, thank you. Home Builders Association of Lexington has constructed other homes for veterans over the past years. In 2012, they built one for a disabled veteran. Well, it's good to have you with us. A lot going on, obviously, here on WKYT News. Police are getting a better look today into the life of a man now accused of carrying out that deadly attack in a theater in Louisiana.
A look at some of the final moments before he opened fire in a movie theater next.
And the daughter of two high-profile singers has died, and now the investigation into her death is moving forward. Find out what's next in the case, coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.